Coming up on today's edition of Cronkite Sports Report.
The ultimate honor for one Suns legend.
One school in Tucson helping everyone play sports.
Plus, a local gym helps fighters battling an even tougher opponent.
How one MLS team is helping kids go pro.
And later, a football coach breaking barriers in Yuma.
All that coming up on this Cronkite Sports Report. Hello and welcome into Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Cam Dyer.
And I'm Raya Graves. We appreciate you for joining us. The Suns are enjoying a resurgence of sorts after their trip to the NBA Finals last year. Before this season started, however, the league paid tribute to the team's past.
Yes, by inducting a legendary coach into the Hall of Fame 17 years after his passing. Cronkite Sports reporter Jaden Sormani has more on the special tribute to Cotton Fitzsimmons.
Cotton Fitzsimmons is one of the most iconic coaches in Phoenix Suns history. Few may realize how much impact the two-time NBA Coach of the Year had on the franchise, given the fact he passed away 17 years ago. But his widow, Joanne Fitzsimmons, has kept Cotton's legacy alive. Her dedication paid off as Fitzsimmons received the ultimate honor of being enshrined in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2021.
Gosh, why didn't this happen sooner? But the one thing that really just made me feel so good about this is July 24th marked 17 years since he passed away. And how fabulous is it that after 17 years, he hasn't been forgotten?
In my next life, I'm gonna come back as an official and straighten that mess out.
I couldn't have been more pleased, as chairman of the Basketball Hall of Fame, to have been a part of that and to honor Cotton, my dear friend, meant a great deal to a lot of people.
Someone being inducted to the Hall of Fame, you can go on the accolades of or the accomplishments of what they did in the sport, but it's also who they are, And if that's it, he wins on both levels.
Fitzsimmons won 832 games during his 21-year NBA coaching career, including 3 different stints with the Suns. As a master motivator, he led the 1990 Suns past Magic Johnson's LA Lakers on their way to the Western Conference Finals.
He was never satisfied, but was not a bad thing. Like, yeah, it was always an inspiring thing. Like, you guys are better than you're better than you think you are. And when we would get together and talk about it as a team, yeah, we should be.
All they see is the guy on the floor screaming and hollering at us as we're playing. But they didn't understand that I would go to dinner with him. He would call me often to check on me, make sure I was doing the right things off the court. And that's what a coach is all about.
Upon his retirement from coaching shortly into the 1996 season, Fitzsimmons had the 6th most wins in NBA history. He also spent time as an executive and broadcaster. Cotton's colorful personality connected him with every person he came in contact with.
Our relationship was a long, long-lasting relationship, and I had great respect for him. He had accomplished an awful lot as a head coach. He was one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life.
And those relationships continue with his wife, Joanne.
As I told him a long time ago, I'm going to always be there for his wife, Joanne, and always checking on her to make sure she's good, because that's how he really, I think, took care of me. When I was away from my mom, he treated me like a son.
One of my favorite things is a sign that I have hanging over the doorway to my laundry room that said, and it kind of summarizes, I think, our lives in the NBA. And it says, we didn't realize we were making memories. We just knew we were having fun.
That fun resulted in her claim that every day was a honeymoon. She can now rejoice that his legacy forever lives on. Her Cotton Fitzsimmons is now Hall of Fame. In Phoenix, Jaden Sormani, Cronkite Sports Report.
Cotton was universally loved by his players and is arguably one of the greatest Suns coaches of all time.
And his legacy is now immortalized in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Coming up next on Cronkite Sports Report, an opportunity for blind and deaf students to play sports in Tucson.
And later, how one local gym helps people living with Parkinson's disease. Welcome back to Cronkite Sports Report. The Arizona State School for the Deaf and Blind hosts 7 different sports amongst the high school and middle school level.
Located in Tucson, these athletes compete against schools across the district. Cronkite Sports reporter Talia Massey recently paid a visit to the basketball team.
Here in this gym, all you'll hear is the sound of a dribbling basketball. For players and coaches, this is all they hear. That's because this gym belongs to the Arizona State School for the Deaf and Blind, and basketball is one of their most popular sports.
In basketball, I like the different aspects of it. There is a lot that goes into playing basketball. There's defense and offense. You have to know specific moves to go past your defense.
For players like Dalton Green, their ability to play a sport like basketball comes from a reliance on their other senses.
I'm very reliant on sight, and mainly that's it, and touch.
Still, communication for these players can be a challenge. Coach Gerald Brown, who is deaf, understands the struggle as he played basketball as a high school student in Chicago and also went on to play college ball.
I was the only deaf individual on a hearing basketball team growing up. I wanted to become a coach because I really like to give myself a challenge. I like to challenge other schools because these students can play at such a high level. I also have a passion in sports and developing youth to become successful like myself.
While the players and coaches here know American Sign Language, or ASL, eye contact is an important part of the game.
It's pretty cool because when you'll see the point guard coming up the floor and all eyes will be on that point guard. Communication between that point guard and the head coach is really important. They're always looking at each other. It's really neat to see that.
I think we communicate a lot and we have a lot of secret terms, and coach always instills in us the importance of teamwork and how we need to communicate.
When playing teams with hearing players, ASDB's communication strategy is like a secret language.
We have our own signs for the plays and for the other team that they don't know. It's like, what are they doing? What play are they doing?
But it doesn't always work smoothly.
If someone is behind me, I can't hear them, so they could steal the ball. We can't hear what they are calling out for plays, or if they're calling other players to come defend you.
One of the biggest challenges they face is communicating with the referees. If the referees do not know ASL, there's a communication barrier, even with an interpreter.
They're not able to communicate with the refs, like, hey, watch for hold-in, watch for certain things that we do in a hearing game, where the kids are like, hey, 23 is holding, ref, keep an eye on that. Little things like that that the deaf kids aren't able to do.
The skills these players learn through sport translates to all areas of their life.
Usually, there's a stigma in society that they are the last kid to be picked, and as they grow up, they are not given enough opportunity to develop their skill set. So when we have a deaf or blind or visually impaired student that comes into our school later on in life, they don't have a foundation. So we want to build that here. Honestly, I love playing sports because it's a fun thing to do. It gives you more of a purpose in life. But that's not all of my purpose in life. I have other things that I can do. I just really enjoy being on a team.
At ASDB, these athletes know that they can compete at the same level as any school, which is why to them, the sound of silence in this gym is never a disadvantage.
Talia tells us that the school has to supply their own interpreters for any referees who don't know sign language.
The ASDB basketball season starts on December 7th against San Simon High School.
Stay tuned. After the break, we go to Mesa to see how a local boxing gym helps patients fight Parkinson's.
Welcome back to Cronkite Sports Report. Boxing may not seem like the best sport for people with Parkinson's disease.
However, at Rocksteady Boxing Gym in Mesa, pugilism is exactly what the doctor ordered. Cronkite Sports reporter Ryan Blank has more on how boxing helps patients with Parkinson's.
Rocksteady. 3 days a week, you can find Jim Coleman at Rocksteady Boxing in Mesa.
It's not just a class in which you go and attend and leave. It's when there's a lot of interactions, there's lots of support, and there's lots of caring.
Coleman and the other boxers need that support. They come to Rock Steady battling a greater fight outside of the ring as they deal with varying stages of Parkinson's disease. Some can barely make it through the door for their first class.
After a week, just 1 week of working out with the gym, they are walking. It just makes a huge difference. It just is an amazing program that allows us to really work on their daily struggle and help them feel better each day.
Leanne Hansen co-owns the gym her brother Blaine started back in 2016. After watching her brother battle Parkinson's disease for over 20 years, she stepped in and helped take over the gym when he no longer could.
It's been so hard. My brother and I are only 18 months apart. We have been best friends all of our lives. Being able to help him and to carry on his vision here has just been so important to me.
The gym in Mesa is part of a larger nonprofit organization by the same name, Rock Steady Boxing. Founded back in 2006 by Scott Newman and Vince Perez as a way to help Newman's battle against Parkinson's. Perez, who was a Golden Gloves boxer, created a workout that quickly became a new way to help get patients active.
Once we got people in there, that first group, I mean, you grow attached to people, right? You look at them and they're working their butt off and you want to be helpful and you want to show up. And the 12, 20 people that we had, they looked forward to it. They couldn't wait to get in there to do it.
If I want him to do exercise at home, he's always too tired or he doesn't want to. But boxing day, he never fusses. He gets ready by himself. He comes to boxing. It's not only the exercise, but it's the companionship that they have with each other.
Studies done by the Cleveland Clinic show that this style of exercise has many health benefits in slowing down the progression of Parkinson's by strengthening the muscles. That's why doctors are spreading the word about this program.
Keeping the muscles loose, the joints loose, warming up the system. It's slowing the manifestations of the disease because you're stronger, your balance should be better, you're in better physical shape. It's a great thing to be able to offer patients.
The downward trend of the curve in terms of my strength, flexibility, balance, my walking issues, my voice, both my neurologists are pleased with my progress, and I think one of the great contributing factors is this class and regimen 3 times a week.
In addition to the health benefits from the boxing classes, Rock Steady gives an element of socialization that is crucial for the boxers.
We exchange information on neurologists, physicians, medications, dosage, frequency, types of medication, and this is valuable information. The other thing is you're not isolated, feeling sorry for yourself. You're actually here with other people that you can interact with.
For Hansen, being a part of Rock Steady Boxing has given her a new meaning of what she does.
It has changed my outlook a lot. They are part of my life now. We stay open because we want to be here for them. It's not a business, it's a service.
Rock Steady Boxing Mesa will continue to help Parkinson's patients like Coleman and help make a difference in the battle against the disease. In Mesa, Ryan Blank, Cronkite Sports Report.
On to soccer now. Arizona may not have an MLS team, but soccer is still one of the most popular sports in the state.
Cronkite Sports reporter Charles Messman has more on the MLS club leading the way to help grow the sport here in Arizona.
Real Salt Lake, Arizona is home to many aspiring young soccer players who are on a journey to fulfill their dreams.
I feel like my individual goals are to go pro, to help my family so that they won't have to worry about anything.
And the dream starts here, in a system that has been among the most successful at developing young talent over the last decade, the Real Salt Lake Academy. In Arizona, the commitment from the club starts from the very top of the club's pyramid.
Our previous owner, wanted to make a serious investment, and he did so by building a $75 million facility in Utah. And from there, it trickles down to Real Salt Lake, Arizona, wanting to be a leader in player development.
RSL Arizona competes in MLS Next, the top development league in the country, However, they stand out from many other clubs because of their connection to the first team up in Utah.
One of the first steps is being recognized by our staff here, and then can you make the jump to the RSL Academy in Harriman, Utah? And from there, getting opportunities with Real Monarchs and USL Championship, and then from there, the first team becomes a reality.
Homegrown professional Justin Glad lived that reality as a player who followed the pipeline.
Oh, it was massive. I went from training twice a week with my club team to every day, and playing against really high quality opponents. The level of coaching I got, the facilities I got to use was unreal. Professional environment, it was really helping us improve day in, day out.
The path all starts with recruitment and finding the right players.
The biggest thing is the comfort level with the ball. The players that the ball's their friend, the ball's not an enemy to the players, those are the ones that have the potential to be able to play at the next level.
The journey to becoming a professional is full of hard work and struggle, but that hard work and commitment is the biggest reason RSL AZ has produced so many top players.
We try to focus on 4 pillars of development: the tactical development, the mental aspect, the other one, the technique, which is first touch, the passing, the shooting, the crossing, and the other one is the physique.
We're different because we're very passionate, and all of us always work hard and never stop running. I wake up in the morning, go to school from 8 to 2:30, get my stuff ready for training, and then after training I go and train at my house, and then I go to sleep and do repeat every day.
However, at any age, you need to remember that the beauty of the game comes from the passion to play. If it isn't fun, your journey can end in a burnout.
Whenever I think back to my academy days, I just remember having fun. If you just keep enjoying it and making sure you don't lose that joy for the game, it makes it a lot easier to get where you want to go.
School is very important, family is very important, obviously soccer is very important, and it's key that they have a balance in their life. We talk to them about that.
Stands out because they really connect with you, even if it's not even on soccer terms.
With players like Glad who have come before them, RSL youngsters can see a path forward.
If you're a player that has the belief and the work ethic, and you're able to continue at each of those checkpoints, the first team's waiting for you.
What separates us from other clubs is the extra work we put in. We're very passionate on what we do, and we take it serious.
RSL Arizona has the resources, the coaches, and the pathway to give their players the opportunity to make their dreams come true. In Mesa, Chaz Messman, Cronkite News.
Exciting to see Justin Glad having so much success with Real Salt Lake.
Hopefully we'll see more of these young prospects rising through the Arizona feeder system.
Coming up on Cronkite Sports Report, a football coach in Yuma breaks down barriers. That story next.
Welcome back to Cronkite Sports Report. Football has historically been a sport dominated by men. Slowly, women have been gaining ground in the game, from referees to play-by-play to assistant coaches.
Now on the high school level, at least more and more women are becoming head coaches. Cronkite Sports reporter Ashlyn Register has more on how a coach in Arizona made history over the summer.
Barriers have been broken in Yuma. When Jessica Slaughter was named the head football coach of Gila Ridge High School in 2021, she became the first female at the helm of a big conference varsity team in Arizona in over a decade. But Trailblazer status is not the priority for the new coach.
I'm not here to be a first female anything. I'm just here to coach the kids. That's all it's about. I'm just here to work with the program. I don't care about any firsts, anything like that.
Slaughter has been part of the Hawks football program for the last 5 years, serving as the head coach of the freshman team for the last 3. In her new role, combined with her passion for football, Coach Slaughter has had an opportunity to inspire some of the same players she has coached in the past.
She's in love with the sport and she's in love with these kids. I just think that she personally, to me, has made me want to keep playing and want to go further if I wanted to.
Born and raised in Yuma, Slaughter is an alum of Gila Ridge High School. She played on the football team for 2 years as a guard and defensive tackle before switching to track and field. After she attended college in West Virginia, she returned to Yuma and Gila Ridge as a math teacher and has been here ever since.
I am Gila Ridge. This is my school. I love the school. I can't imagine teaching or coaching anywhere else. I'm actually the second graduating class to come from here that's spent the full 4 years here, so I take a lot of pride in being a Gila Ridge Hawk.
After spending most of her life in Yuma, Coach Slaughters is recognizable around town, from Walmart to Circle K, and the support that she gets from the community never goes unnoticed.
Still know me, they still get excited to see me, and when I see them it might take a second to remember the name, but I never forget a face.
Positive aura for our football team here. Yes, and she has gotten good community support from being head coach, and just because she's the head coach has nothing to do with anything else. She's the right fit that we were looking for here at Gila Ridge.
The Gila Ridge community has embraced Slaughter as the leader of their program. That support extends to parents as well.
They're behind her. She has a great way of communicating with the parents, and it's all about the kids. It's not about anyone else. It's 100% about the athletes under her.
And Coach Slaughter is already having much success. In October, she was named Arizona Cardinals Coach of the Week.
Of course, I'm honored to receive that award. It's a very cool thing. I didn't expect it, but I think it just brings more light to the program, and I think that's what's more important.
That award is just the first step of many in leaving a lasting legacy at Gila Ridge High School.
I want to lead a successful program, of course, but I want the kids to step away from this program, whether they go to their job, they go to college, the military, whatever, just knowing that whatever they're passionate about or whatever challenges that they face, that they can meet those challenges.
As a pioneer in high school football, Slaughter is carving a new path at Gila Ridge, one that will give her players lessons that extend beyond the football field. In Yuma, Ashton Register, Cronkite Sports Report.
Impressive that Slaughter won Coach of the Week in her first year.
The future is bright for the Gila Ridge Hawks as Slaughter continues her legacy in her second year as varsity head coach. That's all for this episode of Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Cam Dyer.
And I'm Mariah Graves. On behalf of everyone involved, thank you for tuning in.